Les Chants de Maldoror by Le Comte de Lautréamont. Second book, section 1. What has become of Maldoror's first song, since his mouth, full of belladonna leaves, uttered it through the realms of anger in a moment of reflection? What has become of this song? We do not know exactly. It is not in the trees nor in the winds, and morality, passing through that place, not foreseeing that it had found in these incandescent pages an energetic advocate, saw him making for the dark recesses and secret fibers of consciousness with a firm, straight step. This much at least we do know. Since that time, toad-faced man can no longer recognize himself, often falling into fits of rage, which make him seem like a beast of the forest. It is not his fault. For ages his eyelids weighed down beneath the resedas of modesty. He had believed himself to consist only of good and a minimal quantity of evil, revealing his heart with all its wicked plots to him. I bluntly taught him the reverse, that he consists of evil only, with a minimal quantity of good, which legislators are hard pressed to prevent from evaporating completely. In this, I am teaching him nothing new, and I wish he would not feel eternal shame at these bitter truths of mine. But the realization of this wish would not conform to the laws of nature. In fact, I am tearing the mask off his false and slime covered face, dropping like ivory balls into a silver bowl the sublime lies with which he deceives himself. It is understandable, then, that he cannot summon a look of calm onto his face, even when reason disperses the darkness of pride. That is why the hero I present has brought upon himself implacable hatred by attacking humanity, which thought itself invulnerable, through the breach of absurd philosophical tirades. These abound like grains of sand in his books, the comic qualities of which I sometimes, whenever my reason abandons me, on the point of finding so droll but tiresome. He had foreseen it. It is not enough to sculpt statues of goodness on shelves of libraries where parchments are stored. Oh, human being, here you are now, naked as a worm, in the presence of my sword of diamond. Abandon your method. The time for pride is past. Prostrated before you, I offer up this prayer. There is someone who observes the smallest actions of your guilty lives. You are ensnared by the subtle network of his relentless perspicacity. Do not trust him when his back is turned, for he is watching you. Do not trust him when his eyes are closed, for he is still watching you. It is difficult to conceive that you can have made the dreadful resolution to surpass the child of my imagination in matters of guile and wickedness. His least blows are fatal. If one is careful, one can teach him who does not know that wolves and brigands do not devour one another. Perhaps they are not in the habit of doing so. Therefore, fearlessly entrust all care for your existence to him. He will guide it in the direction he knows so well. Do not believe in his apparent intention of making you better, for you are, to say the least, only of indifferent interest to him. Even in saying this, I am making allowances in your favor. What I have said does not approach the whole truth, but it is because he delights in doing evil to you, rightly conceived that you will become as wicked as he, and that you will accompany him, when the time comes, into hell's gaping abyss. His place has long since been appointed, the place where an iron gibbet stands, with chains and halters hanging from it. When destiny brings him here, the dismal pit beneath the trapdoor will never have tasted more delicious prey, nor will he ever have contemplated a more fitting habitation. It seems that I am speaking an unintentionally paternal manner, and that humanity has no right to complain. Section 2. I am grasping the pen which is going to compose the second song, an instrument torn from the wings of some red piranguil. But what is wrong with my fingers? The joints remain paralyzed as soon as I want to start my work. Yet I need to write. It is impossible. I repeat that I need to write my thoughts. I have, like any other man, the right to submit to this natural law. But no, 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 still the pen will not move. What is this? See the lightning flashing in the distance, across the countryside. The storm is crossing the sky. It is raining. Still, it is raining. How it rains! The thunder has burst. It has beaten down on my open window, stretching me out on the floor. It has struck me on the forehead. Poor young man, your face has already disfigured enough by premature wrinkles and the deformity of birth. It did not need this long sulphurous scar, too. I have just assumed the wound has healed, but it will be some time before that happens. What do the storm and the paralyzing of my fingers mean? Is it a warning from on high to make me think twice about the risks I am running by distilling the saliva of my square mouth? But this storm did not frighten me. What would a legion of storms matter to me? These celestial policemen carry out their difficult duties with zeal, if I am to judge summarily by my wounded forehead. I do not need to thank the Almighty for his remarkable skill. He aimed the thunderbolt so that it cut my face exactly in two from the forehead, where the injury was most critical, down to the neck. Let someone else congratulate him on his accuracy. But these storms attack one who is stronger than they, and so, viper-faced Eternal One, not content with placing my soul between the frontiers of madness and these frenzied thoughts which are slowly killing me, you had to decide after mature consideration that it befitted your majesty to make torrents of blood gush from my brow. But what can you hope to achieve? You know that I do not love you, that in fact I hate you. Why do you persist? When will your behavior cease to be enshrouded in all the appearances of strangeness? Speak to me frankly as a friend. Do you not suspect that your odious persecution of me is characterized by a naive eagerness which is utterly ridiculous, though none of your seraphim would dare to point this out to you? What rage has taken hold of you? I want you to know that if you abandon the pursuit and let me live in peace, I would be grateful to you. Go on then, Sultan. Lick the floor and rid me of the blood which has stained it. The bandaging is finished. My brow has been stanched and washed with salt water. I have wound bandlets around my face. There is not so much to speak of. 4 blood-drenched shirts, 2 handkerchiefs. One would not think at first that Maldoror had so much blood in his arteries, for his face is only a wax and corpse-like sheen. But there it is. Perhaps that is all the blood his body can contain, and it is probably that there is not much more left. Enough, enough, you greedy dog. Leave the floor as it is. Your belly is full. You must not go on drinking, for you would very quickly start vomiting. You have glutted yourself adequately. Now go and lie down in your kennel. Consider yourself swimming in bliss. For 3 immense days you will not think of hunger, thanks to the globules which you have swallowed with visible and solemn satisfaction. And you, Lehman, take a broom. I would like to take one too, but I do not have the strength. You understand, do you not, that I do not have the strength? Put your tears back in the scabbard, or else I will think that you are not courageous enough to contemplate in composure the huge gash occasioned by a punishment for me which is already lost in the night of past time. You will go to the fountain and fetch 2 pails of water. Once you have washed the floor, you will take the linen into the next room. If the laundress comes back this evening, as she should, you will give it to her. But as it has been raining heavily for an hour and is raining still, I do not think she will leave her house. In that case, she will come tomorrow. If she should ask you where all this blood comes from, you are not obliged to answer her. How weak I am. No matter. I shall nonetheless be strong enough to raise my penholder and courageous enough to work out my thoughts. What concern was it of the creators that he should plague me with the thunderstorm as if I were a child? I shall nonetheless persist in my resolve to write. These bandolets are a nuisance. The air in my room is thick with blood.